That's spine and lower spine back mobility. Thoracic spine and lower spine back mobility, part 5. So if you've been working your way through my little clips, we are now moving on to the bit where you're pretty much good to start doing lots of different movements and combination movements. But it's always good just to keep a check on your mobility. So we're going to start with having your feet hip width apart, knees slightly soft, pelvis is nice and square. Bringing your hands across the chest, breathe in. And as you breathe out, you just take a little twist, trying to keep the hips forward, so you're just feeling the stretch across the thoracic part of your back. So even keep your fingertips quite light and relaxed on your shoulders. Using your exhale to turn, your chin is in line with the crisscross of your wrists. Beautiful. Then you might actually want to take a little head turn as well and start to feel the neck release. Twist. But again, just going with where you feel comfortable, being mindful of whether your hips move a lot. If they do, it means that you're a little bit tight. Just see if you can just mobilize from the ribs. And then just relax the shoulder blades down. This time we're going to take a breath in, letting your fingertips are really nice and light. As you breathe out, pull one hand back, squeeze and open the shoulder. The ribs and hips are still kind of frontal, but you're just opening up the front of the chest. Breathing in and breathing out. So it's inhaling, exhaling, inhaling and exhaling. Breathing in, breathing out. Now as you start to feel a little bit more comfortable with this, and I want you to imagine your arms are floating on clouds, so they're really quite effortless and relaxed. You can start to add a turn with your eye gaze as well. So breathing in as you breathe out, feeling the shoulder engage, feeling the weight equal through your toes so you know that you're squaring your hips to a certain extent, and just playing with opening up the shoulder. And if you want to take it a little bit further, you can breathe in, you can pull back and stretch completely out. And then you can either just drop the arm and bring it back and come down. So breathing in, pulling back, stretching out, dropping the arm and coming back. Remember to let the fingertips soften down towards the floor each time. Beautiful. From there we're going to look at how our spine is doing as well now. So I'm going to turn sideways on so we can see. Take a breath in as you breathe out, tuck chin to chest, fold yourself all the way down to the floor. Rolling up and down just like we did previously, so you might have the knees slightly bent in the first couple of rounds. Pushing through the heels if you can, tucking the tailbone under, pulling in through the belly, rippling up. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out, and just keep going with that, probably about 5 or 6 times. Maybe at the bottom you might want to stop and just shift your hips from side to side. Notice whether you can do this with your legs straight now or whether you still need a little bend in your knees. There's no pressure to be anywhere, it's just finding what feels right for you. Okay, from there we're going to walk ourselves down to the floor. And we just start by shifting the hips back, letting the head and shoulders relax down, coming into a child's pose, and just moving your hips. Again, just gauging where your pelvis feels in relation to your spine, allowing your shoulders to slide back. And then we take a breath in, we lift up. Let's take a little bit of a mobilizer through the spine. So cat and cow, just the same as you've done before. but checking the weight is even through your palms, breathing in, lifting up. Collarbones spread, shoulders slide back, tailbone tips up, and as you breathe out, tuck the tailbone under, pull tummy muscles in towards your spine, dropping the head and shoulders, feeling the weight even through your fingertips. Breathing in. So we've had these consistently through the last 3 back care programs, so you should know how to do this pretty well now, and your big focus is to really allow the fluidity of your breath to ripple up and down your spine. See whether your shoulder blades actually move with your spine rather than being stuck in one place. See if you can let your head, shoulders and neck go just a little bit more. And again, you do as many of those as you feel you need to. Now we're going to start to bring it into a little bit more core stuff, so we're going to come into some diagonal pointer work. So you're going to breathe in and lift as you breathe out. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, square the hips. And then breathe in as you breathe out. Pull the knee in, but we want to keep the back flat. So we're not doing a crunch today, it's just pulling in, hovering, keeping that flat. Breathe in, as you breathe out, you lengthen. Breathe in, as you breathe out, we come diagonal. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, we come back into the center and touch down. So breathing in, maybe lifting the leg first and then the arm so you can control your core as you exhale. And then doing your little crunch, but just feeling the tummy muscles pull in but not arching your back. Lengthening out on your next out breath. Breathing in as you breathe out, back to your diagonal. Breathing in as you breathe out. Switch back. So your challenge is to keep your spine really nice and long. Notice if the shoulders are here, I want you to pull your shoulders back and down, pressing into the fingertips. You feel the midsection here of your shoulders engage, and then drawing the tummy muscles inwards allows us to find that sense of balance and control. And then you're just going to shift back and stretch. From there, just roll yourself up through your spine again. Then we do a couple of bit of band work. So we've done a lot of kind of grounded and kneeling back work so far. But now that your back strength has improved, now is the time to start to challenge a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do some deadlifts with the bands, and I think we've done these in previous ones anyway, but we're going to add a row into it. So you want to check first of all you're standing in a nice neutral position. The feet are hip width apart, shoulder blades are back and down, and your band is tight enough so even if you come downwards, you've still got some tension in your band. Want to draw the belly muscle in. We're going to start from the lower phase today so that we can make sure that the back is kind of in that nice neutral position. Your shoulder blades are back and down. And then we're going to breathe out to stand up. Breathe in to tip forward. Breathe out to stand up, bringing your pelvis under your shoulders, and then breathing in to tip forward, feeling the weight even through your toes and your heels, keeping that spine nice and long. You'll notice the band is pulling your shoulders away from your ears, which is always a win. Keeping a gentle pull through your core muscles the whole time. Just checking the crown of your head is over your shoulders and hips. You can probably go for about 8 to 10 of those. And then we're going to add a row. So you're going to tip forward, brace the abs, Squeeze the shoulder blades back so you feel the upper back engage, fingertips forward, and stand back up. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. So we're engaging the upper back and postural muscles that allow us to stand really tall, but also as we're down here, we're bracing the abs, pushing the weight through the heels. As we stand up, we squeeze through the butt, we pull the tummy muscles in and encourage a really nice neutral spine every time we stand up. So we can bring this into bending down and picking things up potentially. Do about 8 or 10 of those if that feels right for you. If you're just doing this or just starting up, maybe you start with 4. You'll notice I do have a slightly curvy tailbone, so my neutral spine isn't here, but it's not here either. It's kind of, I have to really think about drawing the belly muscles in to keep that nice neutral back. Okay, from here, we're going to add a little bit of a balance. So you can adjust your grip and you're just going to take one foot over the band. Now ideally if you've got a flat band it's going to be a lot more comfortable. I've got a rounded band and it's not so great on my foot, I'll be honest. So we've done a little bit of balancing before, but now we're going to think about squaring the hips. And the first thing you're going to do is just tip yourself forward as if you're doing that deadlift. Tip forward and come back up and touch. So breathing in as you breathe out, you're going to feel the weight even through the band. It's going to help you recruit the core and then you're going to touch back. So it might just be that you slide your foot back as far as here, feel your tummy muscles engage, feel the squareness of your shoulders, and then come back up. Also going to feel the side of your waist work because the band is pulling you from both sides. So your oblique muscles are going to start to fire up. If you feel comfortable, the challenge is to start to take it a little bit further. And you're going to probably do, if you're new to this, 5 on each side might be good. If you're starting to feel a bit more comfortable, you might even want to go for 10. Yeah, but go with what feels right for you. And just be mindful that sometimes one side is harder than the other. So you might even want to start with just your hands on your hips, holding your hips square. If you find it really tricky with the band, then just think about sliding the toe back, just lifting it gently, and then coming back in again. Tipping, squaring, sliding the toe back, feeling the gentle recruit of your glutes, and coming back in. Beautiful. So those are your new back exercises. Starting to work through the back a little bit more, feeling some active standing recruitment now that we've managed to start to mobilize the back and engage the back in different ways. You can always come back into your stretches. So we've covered 4 stretches that are great for your back. We can do our child's pose and soften your shoulder blades back and down. You can do some twisting, so you're just gently bringing the weight onto the shoulder. You can choose where you take your hands. Feeling the release through the upper back. Whenever you do a stretch, maybe stay there for at least 10 to 30 seconds. Just to give your body time to find what feels nice for you. Also by lengthening your hamstrings, that's going to help take pressure off your back. So anything where you're pressing down here, or even pushing back here, it's going to help you to release the back of the legs. So maybe play with having a little down dog. It's also going to release your calves as well. Tight calves, pull on tight hamstrings, which pulls on lower back. So again, if you can release out through here, always good. Maybe if you're going to do an extra strong hamstring stretch, you might want to come into your pyramid again, or your heels are on the floor, hold yourself down. Other wonderful stretches to do, glutes. So you could always do your seated glute stretch as well, foot over thigh. Drop the knee out, you can have the leg lower, you can have the leg higher. If you sit up against something, then you don't have to worry about sitting up straight, and you can just allow the side of your hip to open. You can notice whether the knee comes up or down. We want to kind of bring it kind of equal distance to the knee, ideally, But if you find that your pelvis is twisting, and when you do that, then just bring it to where you feel comfortable. Flexing the foot is also going to create a little bit more of a stretch deep into the side of your glute medius. Do the other side obviously to counterbalance. Don't be surprised if one leg is a whole lot tighter than the other. That's okay. Again, play with just checking where your knee positioning is, where your foot is. And then because we've also just stretched out the back of the body, the glutes and the hamstrings, you then also need to think about the front of the body, which is the quads and the psoas. So for the quads, you can take your feet to the side, pick up your foot, draw the heel to the butt. For more, take it back. For more still, roll onto the front of your thigh. Again, you're thinking about spending 10 to 30 seconds in this position, allowing your breath to help you stretch. Do that on the other side so you get a nice balance. And then finally, I'm going to move it into psoas before we stand up, because psoas often, this bit here gets really tight, pulls us forward, and then you get that kind of rounding of the back. So by opening up the psoas, it allows us to stand up taller. So you can take one foot forward, drop the hip down, and then just tuck the pelvis under and reach. So having released the quads first, if there's any tightness out the quads, it's kind of eased out, and then we're able to just focus on releasing through the front of the hip flexors a bit more. Lifting your ribs away from your hips, staying as long as you feel comfortable. Maybe using your breath and seeing where it takes you. And then you can always counter pose it if you need to, just by shifting yourself back. Option to touch down if you need to, depending on how your hamstrings are feeling. Try it on the other side. So again, sinking down. Notice if your hip lifts, can you square your hips and then sink down so you get that balance through the pelvis. Think about where your shoulders are in this as well, see if you can create some softness in the upper body. Encourages general softness through the whole of the body. And then counter pose to release. And then we're just going to bring the feet forward into your forward fold. And I always like to gauge how your back has come on from your session just by how you mobilise. So you might notice now when you started you were here, and now you feel like you can lengthen your legs and find softness in your shoulders and neck too. Pulling in through the belly, just tuck the tailbone under, ripple up through your pelvis again, noticing the extra openness you have in the front of your hips. Breathe up. And then as we just take a stretch into the side to open up through the side of the body, so step the foot behind. And it's like your top finger is pulling you up to the ceiling and your hip is dropping you down towards the floor. So you're creating a really nice side stretch right across the top of your hip bone. Good for your quadratus lumbar and lower back. And let's try the other side. Stepping the foot behind, using that lift to find the space between your ribs and hips, and then pushing the hip out. And here can be wherever it feels nice. You might want to support, or sometimes I like to just hang. Keep turning your chest and ribs. And then just take a look at yourself.